This is a story about a person who worked as printing manager named Ija. Her printing business is doing pretty well, and that is due to her hardworking attitude. One day, Ija realized that she needs additional printing machine for her business, so she went to a bank to acquire one printing machine through a finance lease contract for her business operating. Then, the bank will go and ask a vendor to build a specified printing machine that Ija has requested before. This is the requested printing machine. First, bank will check the functionality of the machine to make sure it is working. So, the bank will purchase the machine from vendor by cash. Next, Ija and the bank will go into finance lease agreement. By having this execution of lease agreement, the bank will lease the machine to Ija through installment payment, and at the end of the tenure, Ija can purchase the machine. Conventional leasing as a form of financing has declined in popularity as compared to other financing, which is hire purchase. However, if we compare between finance lease and Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek, Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek is widely used in Malaysia for financing nowadays. The number of conventional financial institutions that offer Islamic products such as Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek is accelerating due to the increase in demand from people.
Assalamualaikum. Now I'm going to explain about Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek under AOV FASA. Okay, what is actually Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek? This contract actually means a form that concludes the passing title of ownership of the leased property to the lessee at the end of the lease term. Now, second point is contract or elements in Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek. In Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek, we have two elements. First is lease, and second is purchase. In the contract, at the beginning of the contract, the lessor will lease the leased property to the lessee, and at the end of the lease period, the lessee will purchase the asset from the lessor. Now, we look at how actually Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek is treated under accounting treatment. So we have two parties. First, lessor. Second, lessee. Under lessor's book, we have two elements, which is asset and also revenue. Now, lessor should capitalize the leased property under his book and depreciate it over the years, over the lease period, and he also will gain rental income from lessee, and it should be recognized as revenue. Second, under lessee should recognize the rent expense as expense under his books. Okay, so under AOV FASA, we need to disclose the accounting treatments and also the information under notes of financial statements.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now I would like to explain the standard related to finance lease, which is MFRS 117. Firstly, the definition for finance lease. Finance lease is a lease that transfers all the risk and reward to ownership of an asset. The title may or may not eventually be transferred. Next, there are some criteria that will make the lease is classified as finance lease. Firstly, ownership. Ownership of the asset are transferred to the lessee by the end of the lease term. The next criteria is the lessee has the option to purchase or not at the end of the lease term. Next, the item is a specialized item that custom-made requested by the lessee. Next, the lease term. The lease term is for the major part of the economic life, which means the enjoy the benefit most within the economic life. Next, the lessee can renew the lease. Last but not least, the cancellation can be accepted if the lessor losses are borne by the lessee. Moving to the accounting treatment, first, for the lessee, the commencement of the lease term, they are entitled to the right of use the asset. Therefore, they need to capitalize their asset and depreciate accordingly. Moving to the accounting treatment, for the lessor, they recognize finance lease as a receivable. Therefore, they will receive rental income each year from the lessee as stated in the lease term. For the lessee, at the commencement of the lease term, they are entitled to the right of the asset. Therefore, they need to capitalize the asset and depreciate it accordingly. This accounting treatment will appear in statement of financial position. Other than that, they need to pay the rent expenses as stated in the lease term.
Ija, what are you doing here?
I just finished my class.
Are you going back to Mahala?
Yes.
So
Let's
together?
go together.
What have you learned today?
I learned about finance lease. Finance lease is like purchase by borrowing. It is usually provided by the bank. It's like when a company purchase an asset but pay by installment. Okay, so the company wouldn't pay in cash, but they will pay by installment, including the interest. Finance lease is very good for companies' growth because firstly, a company get tax benefit. Tax benefit is when the company will pay installment, right? So the installment payment is actually the operating expense. So the company will pay less tax. The second one is what is good about finance lease is so the company can use their capital for other investment because finance lease they don't use a lot of money to buy the asset. Okay, so that's the good thing about finance lease. What I concerned about it is only about the interest. Us Muslims we cannot pay interest, right? What do you think?
Based on what I have learned, for today's class, I learned about Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek. Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek is leases that involve two contracts, which is sales and also leases. And I think Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek is the Islamic contract that can cater the problems of the interest because the concept is the same, leases, right? And I think Muslims should go for Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek. As you said earlier, you are concerned about the interest, right? So I think Muslims we should try our hard to avoid from involving in any transaction that has interest. So I think Muslims should go for Ijarah Muntahiah Bil-Tamleek.